All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. It's Pastor Dow. I receive many correspondence on a daily basis and stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and tackle this email right here because America needs to understand what this country is and what it was built upon, at least the principles allegedly that it was built upon, and the understanding, or let me say the comprehension of the mindset of the people who frame the actual documents of this country. See, the question comes to me, and I want to paraphrase it because it's extensive, but basically, should we permit the Muslim religion in this country since that a Muslim extremists or Islamic extremists, as they put it, are the main reason and cause and the general threat of our country here in America? And of course, I guess they've been watching some of my videos and they figured that I'll be a preacher that would answer truthfully regardless of what the public sentiment is. And that's true, and I will. And I think I need to go ahead and address this because there seems to be a lot of discrimination going on in this country in reference to religion. So I want to go ahead and answer this question. And I'm first going to start off by, what I'm going to start off with, right? I'm going to start off with the Constitution of the United States of America. And I'm going to read the First Amendment. And I'm going to read it here so that everybody here in this country can comprehend and know and see, because I know that many people refuse to read this book. They just refuse to read this little book. But I'm going to go ahead and read this, okay? The First Amendment, all right? It says the amendments to the Constitution of the United States of America. First Amendment. Listen very closely. Congress, hear that? Shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress and grievance. All right, redress of grievance. Now, that's what the Constitution says. All right, that's exactly what it says right here in the amendments. Okay, now let me go ahead and explain. It is assumed here in America that America is a Christian nation, while well over half of the people who are the framers of this particular document, this book right here, had no religion whatsoever at all. Some was atheist, some was agnostic, and I can go on and on. But yet and still, but whether you believe it or not, history shows that they actually used this book right here as the basis of morality, whether they was deist, Christians, atheists, or agnostic. They used the actual foundation of the Bible to frame morality for this country. I know it's hard for people to believe, but yet and still they had enough intelligence to be able to come together and to draft a document that will be binding upon all people in this country. Now, mind you, I'm not answering from what you have been taught. I'm answering from facts. All right? And so, when the framers of the Constitution wrote this book, when they wrote this document and they signed it, and when it says clearly in here that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Guess what, Christians? That means a Satanist. That means an atheist. That means an agnostic, including those who don't even have religion. That means a Muslim, a Catholic, a Christian, a Hindu, whatever you want. Guess what? Here in America, this country cannot discriminate, nor can it actually prohibit anyone from exercising their religion. Whether you agree or disagree with it or not, it's totally irrelevant. They have just as much as right, just as much as freedom, and just as much as liberty to exercise their religion as the pagan Christians does. And so when people get it, they get upset at me because I keep calling Christians pagan. And I have to continue to keep saying it over and over again because people don't go on my archives and see exactly what I believe. They automatically think because I'm speaking against the religion of Christianity that I'm coming against Christ. And that's nonsensical. That's asinine. That doesn't make any sense. As stupid as I don't know what. Christ is my Messiah. I don't speak against him. Christ didn't know about no religion called Christianity. None of the apostles knew about a religion called Christianity. I know what our translation says, but I also know what the original word behind the word says as well. And now I'm going to go to the document right here, the King James Version of the Bible, and I'm going to read you who the creator of the universe, the God of the universe, I'm going to read you what he says, who he is the God of. And if you go over to Exodus, the 3rd chapter, 18th verse, and it says this, and they shall hearken to thy voice, and thou shalt come, thou and thy elders of Israel, unto the king of Egypt, and shall say unto him, the Lord God of the Hebrews, the Lord God of the Hebrews, the Lord God of the Hebrews. Mind you, this is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Remember, he is Yahweh Elohim. He is the Lord God, and he changes not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob or you sons of Jacob are not consumed, and he will not alter nor change anything that is gone out of his lips. So contrary to what you choose to put in your mind, walking after your own book of the law, would you agree to what truth is? The Bible clearly says that he is the Lord God of the Hebrews, have met with us, and now let us go, we beseech thee, 3 days journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to the Lord God. So that's what this Bible says right here, Exodus 3, verse 18. All right, so from the beginning, God is only the God of the Hebrews. And the mistake that many of you people make out there is that the creator of the universe is the God of all people and all religions. And he's not. He's not the God of Christians. Sorry. Hate to bust your bubble. He's not the God of Babylonians or Syrians or Romans or Greeks or Americans or Hindus or Muslims or Jews. He's not the God of any of these things that we like to be passionate and fight about. He's only the God of the Hebrews. But this document says right here that Congress or nobody can discriminate against anyone. If you want to go out and worship a tree, you can do it. You'll worship a cat, a dog, a skunk, a piece of grass. You can do it. And nobody has a right, according to this document, to discriminate. Now, this book definitely tells you that if you're an Israelite, you're a Hebrew, you can't be going out here serving all these gods of the other nations. And see, it's assumed that here in America, that the God of America is the God of the Hebrews, and that's not true. That the God of the Hebrews is the God of the Christians, and that's not true either, because Christians do not obey what this book says. They don't. They don't keep its laws and statutes and commandments. They're too busy doing away with and being apologetic. They're too busy doing away with everything that the foundation of this book is about. Same here in America. Hey, I may not like you shouting out racial slurs, negative and derogatory against me. I mean, I like you going out here and defacing the public property up here where I live at with your Nazi graffiti and your racial slurs and comments. But guess what? You're not going to see me get all upset and mad at you for exercising your religion. That's your religion. You have a right to do that. I may not like it, but I do support your right to be able to worship whatever you want, even though I don't agree with it. Listen to me. And I am not going to sit up here and fight against you because you choose to believe something that is contrary to what this Bible says, because when we frame a society after the order of this book right here, that is what they said. Now, so you mean to tell me that because people take on the public sentiment and they believe that Christianity is right, and I can equally prove Christianity just as foul and false and a religion of lies as I can Islam? It's easy. But what's amazing to me is that none of us, we get all passionate about stuff. And we claim to be patriotic about stuff. Let me go ahead and drop the bomb on you about something. All right? Bill Clinton received all kinds of deferments from the Vietnam War. And then he comes back later on as he's a chicken hawk. He comes back later on and runs for president of the United States of America. Did you know that Donald Trump equally received for deferment from going to serve in Vietnam? Does that not make him a chicken hawk as well? You see, I know this is painful to many people who just simply cannot associate truth. I personally think that people who are in Congress, I think that the majority of Congress, but this is only my opinion. And I'm entitled to my opinion, but I'm not entitled to my own facts. But I think that the majority of people that is running this country should have at least been a veteran in the military. Really. Because they have better understanding and comprehension of what's going on in the world. The boots on the ground than someone back here receiving deferments from school, receiving deferments from going to war because they were fabricated as sick and all this other stuff. And this is what trips me out. It's just utterly amazing. So, but in this country, we have Muslims that have actually, you go to Arlington Cemetery, you'll see on those headstones, Muslims inscription, Christians inscription, Hindu inscription, no inscription. You'll see all these people died for this country. And a lot of them didn't have no religion whatsoever at all, but yet they still died. That's more than I can say for Bill Clinton. That's more than I can say for Donald Trump. And of course, from a veteran point of view, because Pastor Dow is a United States Army veteran of 10 years. I was a paratrooper. I was in special skills. I was in Op 4 JRTC. I trained a lot of these people of what they're doing. I'm a veteran of war. You understand that? So when people try to turn around and tell me the way that this country should be ran based on their feeling and emotion, I look at them and chalk it up. This is one ignorant person. This is one stupid person right here that don't know nothing. But to sit up there and act patriotic, like you are really truly a patriarch of this country, and you're really truly a patriot of this country, and you love this country. And I'm not saying that everybody can't go fight for this country. Everybody can't. But when you had the opportunity to go, and then you turn around and deferred because you either skipped country and got all kind of deferments and stuff, and then now 50 years later you want to come and run as president of the United States of America, that's an insult. Literally, to me, it's a literal insult. To me, it's the epitome of cowardness. So is everyone that hides behind religion and will not live the virtues, the tenets, the holiness, the sanctification, and the honor of it. That's what's amazing to me. So sorry, America. A Muslim has just as much right to build a mosque and to worship their God in this country based upon the framing of the founding fathers. See, when the founding fathers framed this, they could not envision, nor could they realize that America would be this plethora of religions. They always thought it would be the religion of Christianity. And that's the way it would be. And that's what they thought the entire time. Well, we should amend it. Well, you know, it takes a lot to amend the Constitution. It sure does. Mind you, these same people that want to amend this Constitution also want to amend the Second Amendment. Yeah, you better believe that. And it's just a sad thing what I see going on in this country. I think that ignorant people are the ones who are trying to dominate the talk, the order, the discussion of the day. And the problem that we have in this country, even though we have freedom of speech, we got too many ignorant people claiming freedom of speech, and they're not giving us facts. They're giving us their emotions, their little sorry emotions, their little sorry feelings. And that's all they're giving us. But they're not giving us any facts. Now, I just laid some hard, cold facts out to you. Did y'all hear what I said? I don't agree with the Muslim religion. I don't agree with the Christian religion. I don't agree with the Jewish religion. No way, shape, fashion, form. And I read the same Bible that many of you Christians go to church on Sunday, the first day of the week with. I read it more than you do. I know more about this book than probably any pastor in the United States of America. Go and test that boast. And that's especially a Christian pastor. And what we have a fear of people coming to the truth. And I'm going to tell you the reason why they're fearful of the truth. Because their life will be regulated. they would have to conform and they would have to acknowledge there's the truth, and they cannot no longer walk after the own dictates of their own so-called perverted mind and conscience, because their conscience has to be regulated. Their conscience has to come from something more pure than their own emotion and their own thoughts. And most people just don't have that in them. They're not going to be ruled by the creator of the universe. They're not going to be ruled by any laws of this land, and they damn sure ain't going to be ruled by anybody, including in their own homes. There ain't no structure. You know, we're dealing with a world that is basically without rule of law. That's what we're dealing with. But the truth is, Christian, sorry, you ain't got a leg to stand on. According to this document right here, they have the right to worship Allah. Hindus, whoever, Shaolin monks, they can worship, I'm telling you, Buddha, Confucius, Krishna. Christians worship Aphrodite. They worship Ishtar. No, they don't. They worship Christ. Well, Christ don't believe in coexistence. So how do you sit up there and institute a pagan custom like Easter and then turn around, dress up your children, and have them go and chasing after some fertility egg goddess on Easter every year, and then fabricate it, and then try to say that we're doing this in honor of Christ, when Christ clearly says, and the Bible, the prophets clearly says, that he is not going to tolerate this co-worship and this coexistence. No. One. Him. All by himself, nobody else. And that's it. So, you know, when I have to tolerate people in their ignorance. And you have to understand, I'm a spurned man. I am. And I embrace it and wear it like a glove. Because the one thing that I know, according to what Paul told me, because he said what he says, the one says it all. He said over in the book of Galatians, the 4th chapter, the 16th verse. He said to those people, he says, now look here, have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? You wouldn't believe how many people come to this channel and they'll hear 3 or 4 videos, and then they'll hear one video where I actually start playing in their backyard and tearing it up, tearing down their little house of cards, tearing down all their little altars and idols that they'll build up, all their ideas, the way they think that all this thing is supposed to work. And I'll tell them, go read the book for themselves. And they will get mad at me. They'll start calling me all kinds of names. They'll start hollering racial slurs towards me. They'll call the dining hall down here and cuss our sisters out. They'll fill up our messages down here. With all types of perversion, all types of profanity. And these are the people who at one time claimed to be moral. What kind of demons or spirit do y'all got operating nowadays? That's what's utterly amazing to me. No consistency whatsoever. And you people supposed to be my judges? And you get mad at me because I tell you the truth because of what you live in is a lie? Now, if you choose to ignore what I'm saying and choose to live a lie, that's your prerogative. I support your right to be dumb on purpose. I ain't got nothing to do with that. You came over here. You listened to me. You got all excited until I said something you didn't like because you framed truth by your own personal book of the law. You get all upset and then you resort to the low base nature that you really truly operate out there. You tell me what a hypocrite is then. Well, Pastor Dow, I think that don't well Pastor Dow me. I'm consistent. Plumb line. I'm straight. Laying it to the line. So if you come over here, straightway truth, you're going to hear the truth. And it's not based on popular opinion or public sentiment. No, it's based on truth by itself. Whether you hear or forbear, totally irrelevant. I'm shouting from the rooftop. Well, what are you, Pastor? I'm a Hebrew. That's what I am. I am an Israelite. That's the truth. And that's the truth straight way. So all you people fighting against the Wiccans, the Satanists, the Muslims, the Buddhists, and you mad and upset because they are worshiping their gods. Your fathers, the fathers who framed this, they gave them the right. You don't have no right to discriminate against any of them. Guess what? And neither do you have a right to discriminate against me. Sorry, but that's the truth. And that's the truth. Straight way.